Good morning, scholars. Miss Future Boney here. I'm so sorry that I didn't make a video for yesterday. But here goes the video for Wednesday. So, for all of these, we are simplifying exponential expressions. So for this first one, there's a lot going on. I would do what's inside the parentheses first, and then worry about putting it to the third power. So I look at my coefficients, 3/4. I could divide that and get 0.75, or I could just leave it as 3/4. I have h to the fourth divided by h. I know with exponents, when I'm dividing and have the same base, like two h's, I subtract the exponents. So this h would actually have an exponent of 1. 4 minus 1 is 3. This would be h to the third power. And then d to the fifth minus d to the sixth would be d to the negative 1 power. And this is all to the third power. So before I worry about this 3, the second thing I have to do, so this is the first thing, is move down this d to the negative 1. I don't want a negative exponent ever. So to make this exponent positive, I need to move it down. So everything stays the same except the d, because it has a negative exponent. And then this becomes d to the first. And then again, this is all to the third power. So now I'm going to go ahead and do this. So 3 to the third power is 27. H to the third power is like h to the third times h to the third times h to the third, which is h to the 369. So basically what I'm doing is multiplying this 3 times this 3. Okay, and then I do the same thing to my denominator. 4 to the third power is 64. D to the third power is just d to the third power. And there we go for our final answer. Number 2. I have 5s to the second divided by 6s. So 5 divided by 6. I could divide and turn that into a decimal or just keep it as 5, 6. S to the second minus s is just s. So it just becomes 5, 6s. For number 3, I'm going to again do what's inside the parentheses first. So I look at my coefficients. I have 2 times 3 times 1, which is 6. And then h times h to the third times h to the second. So I'm going to add my exponents, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But remember, this is all to the second power. 6 to the second power is 36. H to the 6 to the second power is h to the 12th. Number 4 can be a little bit tricky. Once again, if I divide 5 by 8, I can just leave it as a fraction. 5/8. C divided by c to the negative 6. So remember, when I'm dividing, I'm subtracting my exponents, so I'm doing a 1 minus a negative 6. 1 minus a negative 6 equals a positive 7. So this whole thing becomes 5/8 c to the positive 7. This one right here, 3 times 1 is 3. These two s's multiply and become s to the fifth. I have to put the whole thing to the second power. which equals 9s to the 10th. Okay, here I'm multiplying, so look at my coefficients. 9 times 2 is 18. Now I look at my w's. I know I'm going to add my exponent, so I have a 5 plus a negative 4 is 1, plus 1 is 2, so it becomes w to the second power. And it becomes b to the negative 2 plus 4 is 2. 2 plus 3 is 5. B to the 5th. Okay, for this one, I like to move, again, do what's inside the parentheses first. 8 divided by 4 is just 2. N minus n to the 5th is n to the negative 4th. B to the 3rd divided by b to the 2nd is b to the 1st. And this is all to the negative, this is all to the 3rd. Okay, so I can worry about this 3 right now. 2 to the 3rd power is 8. N to the negative 4th to the 3rd would be n to the negative 12th. And don't worry, if you're thinking, oh, yep, we need to do that, we will.